All right, so for our intermediate level, we're going to be given our quadratic set equal to 0, and we need to solve. So just like the last unit, our first step is we're going to multiply a times c, which is our negative 48, and we're trying to find our factors of 48 that give us 8. So we can say 1 and 48, 2 and 24, 3 and 16, 4 and 12, and then 6 and 8. And we're looking for a pair that's going to add or subtract to give us 8. And knowing that it's a negative, we're going to look for a pair that subtracts. And so we're trying to find something that will subtract to give us 8. And so that would be 4 and 12. And 4 subtract 12 would give you negative 8, or negative 4 plus 12 would give you positive 8. And we want the positive 8. And so we want negative 4 and positive 12. And then whether you do grouping or box, or we know that it's a 1, so we can jump to doing it the fast way. I'll just review review grouping really quick, and then in case we need to. So 12x minus 48, and then we're going to group it in 2s because we have 4. So we'll group in 2s. We look at the first group and they have a GCF of x. And so if we take the x out, we're left with x minus 4. If we look at the second group, we can take out a 12 and we're left with x minus 4. And remember, when we're grouping, if we group those parentheses, we're expecting them to look the same. So if they're not, that means we probably messed up somewhere. So we have x minus 4. That's what they have in common. So we factor it out and then we're left with x plus 12. And now we're back to where we were with the basic level. So we're going to set each of those equal to 0. So we have x minus 4 equals 0, x plus 12 equals 0, and then you're going to solve. So to get rid of minus 4, we add 4 to both sides. So we get x equals 4. And if it's plus 12, we subtract 12 from both sides. And so we get x is equal to negative 12. And so if I was going to figure out where this quadratic or this U shape was going to cross, it would cross the x-axis at 4 and at negative 12. For another example, just same idea. When a is not 1, then we definitely have to do either box or grouping. So we do 5 times 6, which is 30. Our factors of 30 are 1 and 30, 2 and 15, 3 and 10, and then 5 and 6. And we want a pair that's going to add to give us negative 17. And so as we're looking at that, we should be seeing that 2 and 15 gives us 17. So to make it negative, we need them both to be negatives. And then whether you do box or you do grouping, I'll do box this time, just so we remember both. So we have 5x squared. So first number goes in the first box, last number in the last box, and the pair that you pick goes in the other 2 boxes. And then we take out our GCF of each row and column. So greatest common factor of these 2 would be an x. Greatest common factor of these 2 would be a 3. But with that leading box being a negative, we take out the negative. And then going the other way, leading box is a positive. And then for 5 and negative 15, we're going to take out a 5x. And then negative 2x and 6. Greatest common factor is a 2. Again, leading box is negative, so we take out a negative. And I always like to just double check that we're good. X times 5x is 5x squared. X times negative 2, negative 2x. Negative 3 times 5x, negative 15x. And negative 3 times negative 2, positive 6. And if you do that check, that makes it so you know that you're factoring the pair that you picked worked out. So our factors then are 5x minus 2. And our factors are x minus 3. So this would be factored form, but then we're going to set each of those factors equal to 0. So we have 5x minus 2 equals 0, x minus 3 equals 0, and we're just trying to get our xl alone. So to get rid of minus 2, we add 2. So you get 5x is equal to 2. And then we're going to divide both sides by 5. So we get x is equal to 2/5.